Well, welcome. Today is Thursday, September 4th, and it is the first week of September. We had some interesting moves already, right? We had our weekly open. We had our Monday range, right? We had our Monday range. Our Monday range was taken to the low on USDT.D, meaning we effectively pumped first, right? And now we're back in range, right, on the daily. What does this mean? Well, a few things here. I have, we'll start with USDT.D first, right? Because a lot of people like to gear themselves around that. I myself are included in that category. What does that mean? Well, as I marked it off from last week, I can make this a little bigger, really, but effectively, this is the key level. This is really just the we're smack dab in the key interest level of this range. And there's two probabilities that I'm seeing here from this level, right? From 4.45, which is effectively this daily range we're fighting over right now, which we're basically back in, the bulls, bears fighting over it effectively. We're back in range now. Now, we're back in range to the bullish side. However, if you measure the entire range to the bearish side, we still have one more high left that's possibly tapped before we fully flip this on the monthly, on the weekly, and see the massive altcoin season, yada yada, huge run that everyone's talking about. Apparently, we are close. We are incredibly close. Now it's just a matter of what happens on this next couple weeks, guys. It's literally, if we aren't pumping by October, I would be incredibly surprised. If altcoins were not doing 20-30% moves daily by October, I would be incredibly surprised. People are saying that altcoin season is canceled. They're saying that, there's no alts, whatever, yada yada. I say they don't know what the hell they're talking about, because clearly they don't know how to read charts. Because we are actually probably in still to this day, just the same as last week, the same as last month, we've been gearing up for a quarterly shift. The 3M candles here, this is the fuck shit up levels, right? These are the fuck shit up levels. We haven't done, excuse my language, but we haven't tapped this low. This is a quarterly shift we're about to see. Now, when we pump on this quarterly candle, probably in the next 3 months into the end of the year, it's going to be a massive pump. Massive, right? There's going to be no pullbacks whatsoever. So if you're not positioned in longs for swing longs, then you're going to basically not have any good entries. And for those of you who don't get in longs or aren't in longs by the time these monthly green candles appear, then you're going to get faked out, because what's going to happen here is we're going to sweep these lows and then flip this quarterly order block here and then go right back up to 7.5%. That's why I say FSU, stuff up, because the pump that we're going to see, it's going to be a massive fake out pump, but it's going to be an alt cycle fake out pump, right? F stuff up, right? Yeah, I'll try not to, be too crazy with my language here, but, that's still the bias. That hasn't changed since, way back when the start of the year when I was talking about this. We effectively need this range low to be tapped and this range high to be tapped. Neither of them have been tapped, right? And right now, where are we? We're basically smack dab in this level that I was saying, basically, where on the weekly, we could still sweep this high at 4.6. And that's where we need to be careful with both sides, right? Market makers know this. They know that people are shorting based on our cycle's done. They know that people are longing because they think the alt cycle is going to start. I'm doing both. But really, you don't want to be caught on the wrong side, obviously. So, and that's why you're here. You're educating yourself. You're doing your due diligence. So with that said, this range is quite balanced, which is actually quite dangerous. So I would say the exposure here needs to be very calculated, where if you have longs, you need to basically have de-risk sizing or anchor sizing on levels that are very clear invalidation points. And you should probably have exposure. I'll be honest, guys, you should probably have exposure both ways, because in some cases you're going to see pumps followed by extreme dumps. And I honestly see XRP and Bitcoin are going to be one of those things. I'll go into Bitcoin right here. This fake out move to the downside right now, this is not bearish. This is not bearish at all, guys. All this is this is building a V-shaped recovery on the daily, right? We aren't bearish until we get back above 115, right? I'm going to be shorting Bitcoin once we get back above 115, because this is the previous range balance, a previous POI, point of interest, that was basically battled over for days way back when I was starting to short this in July, when I saw this originally. But this, honestly, the fact that it swept this high is even more bearish to me. We swept the high and we have a market structure break to the low, right? So now if we push this high and continue pushing into the next month, and you know, Bitcoin pushes, altcoins will probably follow. This push will lead us into the real short, where I expect Bitcoin to top out between 115 to 120, and I will intend to short it all the way back down to under 90K. So that's one of the ones I'm tracking here still. A little bit of time left on that one, but for now, let's jump into a few others. I'm looking at XRP and I'm looking at Sol. XRP is very similar here, very similar structure, except its next push, its next fake out pump, these fake out pumps are going to happen into the next month. It's going to be the one that's going to create a wick, right? This wick could go as high as like basically the standard deviations, which is basically all the way up above like 4. But after that point, I would expect it to basically just do a whole lot of nothing, because this is going to be the same thing. This is going to be a quarterly candle push that switches green but closes flat on the monthly. So over here, once it switches green, which right now, if you zoom in, right, this is a green candle in the quarterly. Monthly, once this pushes up, probably in the next 2 months, right, 2 to 3 months on the quarterly, that will end up closing under 3.8. 1 month or 1 week will end up closing under 3.18, and then it's basically going to do a whole lot of nothing for like almost 2 years after that. So I'm going to be catching that short as well, if that, you know, if it does push up. But one of the other high probability shorts that I'm tracking is Solana, another quarterly shift as well. If we do push this high, we are actually approaching fast right now. In the next month, I would expect the entries to hit. I haven't called this yet because I haven't actually set these limits, but I intend to once we actually break 220. I'm waiting for 220. Once we break 220 on the weekly, on the daily, doesn't matter where it is. But I want to see a scam pump here. Scam pump into 240, 220, 240. Induce lots of long liquidity, right? Lots of long liquidity, thinking that we're going to be pushing the all-time high, only to have a closure right below this weekly double inversion at 235. When we have that weekly closure under 235, then same thing, exactly the same thing as XRP. A whole lot of nothing for months and months, if not years. So I'm going to probably be shorting this all the way back down under like $80, because right now it doesn't. This structure, if it rejects here, at the very least, it's going to go back to range balance at 155, at which point I will already be in profits. So there's no reason not to short it, is the point that I'm trying to get to you guys. So hopefully that's helpful. But with that said, I will still go back to my highest conviction trades, which I have still held. This one I closed recently, and I reset the limits to the range lows. It's rebalanced on the weekly. This is the same thing. If we clear this weekly but hold this range low at the SMR at 8.5, same thing on the daily is going to happen. If we sweep that order block and then close above, again, as soon as the weekly closure flips 11.5, we're never going to see prices in our lifetime under $10 again. So this SMR I intend to hold. This SMR is probably going to hold, so that's why my limits are basically right under here. I want to see that sweep, and then the closure back in balance above 9.9. Hold this all the way up to 15, all the way up to 20, all the way up to 30, and we'll never see under $10 again. So those limits are already in. I already called those out. They're waiting and active in my channel. Just going to keep waiting on that. CSPR, same thing. I'm still in this one. I never closed it. I expected it to bounce sooner, but in all honesty, it has not validated for me at all. This is one of those coins that's a high conviction coin because we have already a higher low on the monthly, and all we're doing now is we're just basically retesting this range, right? So we're flat smack dab in the balance of this range. If we can hold this, I would expect it to continue. So I'm going to keep holding that. No changes. I'm down a few hundred, but honestly, it's not even that bad because, everything else is balancing it. I have some hedges and stuff. So going to keep that as is. And the same thing, I love these. I love seeing this here because if you've traded with me long enough, you'll know that relative equal highs or equal highs are effectively very, very strong liquidity magnets where people put stop losses on. So when these stop losses are going to be ran through, it's going to be impulsive, right? And it's basically, I would expect it to be an impulse push up to like 3 to 4 cents, and then possibly a retest after that to continue. So this one, no changes, going to keep holding. I might even add to it. We'll see. But it's just chilling. Let's see what else. Cool. And actually, yeah, might as well take this time to ask you guys if you have coins you want me to check out, and we can go through those, and we'll do some rundowns. So I'll do it in terms of order here. So Matt, you have Doge as a request here, so I'll do Doge. So for Doge, this is one of those other things, right? My bias on the daily is possibly this sweep. If we can sweep this high, we don't actually need to be honest. This is one of those weird things where it could be up here. Like it's either gonna based on the weekly, it's either gonna flip this and then pump, or it's gonna go slightly lower, very slightly lower and pump. But it's very close in both cases. I would say for Doge, I do want to see a break. I'm going to just actually redo my alerts here because they're slightly out of date. It's going to be, I will be interested once we break 19 cents, and I'll do a 1 day close under, because even if we push from here, it doesn't even matter. I'd still want to see 19 cents broken. But we are getting very close to Doge as well. Where's my alert? Here it is. Okay, here we go. Let's do less than bar close, Doge, long watch. Great. So I'll reset that one. Ideally, again, this 8 hour, we could range from this 8 hour here. But ultimately, I would see either this going up here and dumping, going up here and dumping, or going up here and dumping. But honestly, this range is still very, very, very balanced. I do not want to take it from where it is now. It has not hit. It had to hit the bullish bias once, but it left an equal low. Equal lows are not a good sign. You don't trade equal lows. Equal lows are liquidity magnets, right? So don't trade those. They will, they basically want you to put your stop losses here, because people look at this and they say double bottom, right? Double bottom. Well, guess what? Market makers know you're looking at that and saying it's a double bottom and putting your stop loss there, and they're going to try and run price right through your stop loss. So that's how it works, guys. So for this, again, I want to wait for the break of 20, possibly one more time. Those equal lows, those stop losses need to be ran through. Once those stop losses are ran through, then we're going to see a new range between 18 and 16. That'll be our key levels right there on Doge. And what's crazy about this one is that depending on weekly and monthly closures, orange could play out, or if we get this first and we break this, when we retest, if we're unable to break it, then we're going to actually just basically eventually be seeing a new all-time high. I'm actually quite bullish on Doge on the high time frame, but I do think that it has a little bit more time left before we start to see an all-time high push. We probably won't see it until next year based on where things are going, but I do see at least some ranging happening where we're going to have possibly 32 tapped in the short term, right? That'll be a nice scalp long if we do sweep this high. But now whether or not we take that high and then reject and then bounce at 20 cents is the key here. But we do need to build out more structure here before we start to see a continuation of higher lows, right? We have a higher low here. We need another higher low, right? Somewhere over here, right? And then we need another higher low again, like somewhere over here, right? If we want to continue this. And then we basically just need to see a continuation of higher lows if we are going to see some sort of bullish action on Doge. Cool. So yeah, I did a lot of time on that one, so I'll jump through the others. So Filecoin or FIL. Let's do FIL. I think this one I marked out the spot chart, I think, at some point. Let me use the spot chart. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. So this is another great one. On the 8-hour, we are actually really clean here. If we rebalance, it did clear the liquidity to the high at the 2.4. So its new high at the SMR is 2.5. And then the same thing, we have we swept the low, but we made a slightly lower low, which is fine. We have a couple tiny bit more inefficiencies right below it. So, and that's actually a previous range low. So honestly, thanks for reminding me on this one, Matt, because this is actually one where it's very safe for limits if we were to see the sweep and then the closure back in range here, because that would actually confirm all-time low against Filecoin as well, because then what we'd see is the next push would bring us back into range at $4. Yeah, $3 to $4, possibly by the end of the year, right? So that's kind of what I would be seeing here. So ideally, yes, I think these would be good for limits as well. I might put these limits in. So let me just do a reminder underneath here. Let's do an hourly, and we'll check from there. I'm going to just remind myself, because as soon as we're done with the stream, I might just double check the levels, and then I can post them after. So I'll do long limits here. Underneath yellow on the reminder, I'll switch this to orange, and then we will continue on. Perfect. So nothing there. Still bullish. Very, very, very bullish on Filecoin. Once we sweep that low. Punk. Let's keep going here. I'm going to do the swap chart. So Punk here. Also, I have two levels. This is now invalidated. This is the range right there. We're about to break this range. This is going to be the SMR right here. 3 taps. Punk is going to go straight up after. Right here. Boom. Clear this. And then it's going to just start pumping like insanity. 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 Weekly. What weekly do we have open? Literally nothing besides 23 cents, guys. Holy smokes. Look at that. 23 cents right here on Punk. That's the TP. Literally, if you're TPing here, there's only like 2 TPs that matter. Only 2. This previous range balance, right below purple, right here, 14 cents, and then 23.25. There's literally absolutely no reason for you to take profits anywhere before then, because once we sweep this low, it's actually confirming the all-time low if we can actually close above orange again. So this is also pretty damn good here. I'm going to just pop this in here. I might do this one as well with you. This one is pretty solid. Yeah, literally no reason to TP anywhere before that. Let's see. 8. Yeah, we got like literally basically right at 14 cents. That's the balance. We're probably going to see some sort of reaction from there. So I'll redraw this slightly just so we get more accuracy on the pathing, the price pathing. Something like here, right? We do this. And then some sort of heavy reaction here. And then once we close back above 12, this is where it's going to just basically go straight up to like 25, something like that. Cool, and I'll move this slightly over here. Where is this? There we go, okay. Nice. Cool. Cool. Awesome, so yeah, a little bit more left to go on that. Okay, you guys are keeping me busy, geez. I'm gonna try and switch this over to the hourly, and then I'll set a reminder for setting these levels. I'll do this one right here. Oh, system error. Oh shoot. Okay, here we go. Reshared. There you go. There we go. That got deleted for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. Cool. Recording. Yeah, recording's still going. Cool. Perfect. Great. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, Punk. Let's see what else is next. I'm gonna see how fast I can get through these. Band. I think I already mentioned this to you guys. I did put band limits on. I still have these limits on. I got the first fill. I got 2 more fills down here. So basically want to see a little bit more of a sweep here. And then it should break. It should break the high once this weekly closes. So we have a little bit more time left on this one. We take that low. It's going to flip this weekly order block right there, the double inversion. I'd expect none of these lows to be taken as well. But, you know, even if it does, after that point, there's really not much left to take besides a cut like maybe this one at 6.2. So that's why my stop loss is pretty wide on this one. So not too worried about this one. I'll just keep those limits open. Same thing here. This is a market structure break. The daily has the open at 177. So I'm not TPing until then. Even if we close this sweep here, right? It'll just be a reclaim. It'll just be a reclaim of 75. No reason to TP on that reclaim unless, and then maybe you could just take a short hedge, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, no problem. And then, yeah, so for band, I'm just going to probably do like 93 short hedge, possibly on something else, but then main one's at 177. Let's see what else. Okay, let's see. Sorry, going through the chat here. ADA. Awesome. So yeah, ADA here did sweep the bearish OTEs as expected. So I drew this up for you guys way back in last week, and it's following my pathing so far. And we basically just want to see the break of 70. Yeah, same thing, 68, 70. Anything here, we could probably do like something like this. Again, it's we might see like a minor fake out pump from this range on the 4 hour, something like here, you know, basically somewhere up here, or we might just keep going. This one's just very iffy from where it is right now. So I would probably just, I don't know, wait for it. You know, it's not even a good spot to short now. The short was back here, right? That's when I told you guys I was going to reject. I didn't take this, sadly. I probably should have, but you know, I drew this up and then didn't take it myself. Sometimes I do that, but you know, now it's just a matter of waiting. If you want the long, waiting till the 70 cents break. Cool. I have a bunch of alerts that's probably going to go off. What else we got? Anti. Ah, that's a good one. Anti. Right. So this one is the same thing. I think it just needs to consolidate here more. So the daily, what do we got on the daily and the weekly? Yeah, we are just sort of messing around here. Monthly and quarterly. Yeah, quarterly could probably switch the the 2-6. Yeah, if we can hold this range, I'm honestly I'm pretty optimistic about this one because we already have consolidated above this previous weekly, and we had closures. So the fact that we broke above this weekly and then basically just retesting, we're retesting it now, right? We're in the process of retesting it now. So really, it could just do like a whole lot of nothing here for a little bit, something like this. And then as soon as it starts to make weekly closures above 3.6, it's going to go for the next IRL that's open, which it doesn't have any. It's like basically it's going to go for the monthly probably, 20. So something like that. I'll draw this out. We have basically that. When it goes up, it's going to shoot up real fast after it takes that weekly close, which it invalidated one, it invalidated another weekly, so it's going to go for the monthly up here once we do that weekly close there. Awesome. What else? What else do we have? LL. Never heard of that one. Lightlink. Interesting. Interesting. Lightlink. Lightlink. There's our quarterly range right there. That's pretty easy. Wow, this is gonna pay good. This will pay good. This will pay good. Little bit more time left on it, but we need to break this low, flip the 013, and then that's it. It's gone. Tiny bit left, tiny bit more left. Break the low first. Break the low. Yeah, I want to see this low broken. We're close enough now at this point where this would be a wick break of this low, and then a closure back in range, right? And then a market structure break, followed by a daily market structure break, followed by the monthly flip, right? So very, very close, very, very close. Possibly like next week we wick down into that low, and then that's basically the long, right, on LL, and then you basically take it until all the way up to 2.8. Okay, let's go through some other questions. Oh yeah, so you got hype. Hype is another good one. I've been shorting since 50. I like TP'd 2 or 3 times and re-added, so this has been like paying really nicely. I shorted like 6 times on that. I shorted up here, TP down here, shorted up here, TP down here, shorted up here, TP'd over here, and I'm still holding the short, right? This one has been a really nice hedge. So same thing here. I think either teal or orange is going to play out based on the weekly close. So going to keep holding. I know I have a lot of lines here, but I have literally every single level marked that I possibly want to watch. I'm going to clear it up slightly. If we were to take this as the range high, then I would expect this to actually push up a little bit more into next week. This is where I'm saying, like, I think we're going to see a little bit of a relief pump into next week. And then that will be the short, right? And then the relief pump will be into the monthly close short, which will be the long-term long, right? The long-term swing longs. So in this case, hype possibly going back up to 48, and then, or possibly sweeping the high again, in which both cases, however, we are already almost, you almost say like we are creating a curvature down, right? So at this point, I'm going to keep holding my short, and I will keep adding to it. If we go up to 48 or we go up to 52, doesn't matter. I'll add to it. I'm not TPing until under $30. These relative equal lows, as I said, magnets, guys, right? Right below balance. These are going to be taken, and it's going to be an aggressive wick. So I'm going to just keep holding and waiting for that because it will pay. It's just a matter of time. So I'll keep adding to it until then. And let's see, JJ, you have a question. What about the blood moon eclipse on September 7th and 8th? Any interesting effects on the market? Also, any news on World Liberty Finance? What would be a good spot to grab it? Because it seems like price deflated. So I'll address the first question. In terms of blood moon, I guess I don't really follow the way I trade. I don't really follow like events or news or things like that. So to me, the world could be ending, and I will not care because the chart will be still my gospel. So I try and keep things simple, but that is just my personal principles and bias. And it's worked out well so far. So even World Liberty Finance, right? Just as you saw from before, like I knew it was going to dump on open, so I took the short and it paid. Right. So, I didn't need any, because of bad news, right? People could look at World Liberty Finance and be like, oh, it had bad news on open, right? And I look at it and I say, well, the chart literally had pattern signature that it was going to dump, right? So I didn't need anything to tell me that. Let's see, spot. Is this the right one? LFI. Why is this not showing correctly? Weird. I guess I thought I had a chart on this one, but maybe I deleted it. I wonder where it went. Coinbase? Weird. I don't know where it went. Even the Binance chart. That's really weird. Now I forgot where I actually took it from. Did I take the perpetuals? Oh, I did take the perpetuals. Yes, cool. Yes, there we go. This is it. I use a perpetual chart for that one. So, yeah. So this is that's funny because again, this was the same level. This was it hit a daily. It hit daily in a 4-hour inside a daily. So this rejected on the daily, which, as I said, that was bearish. And then this on the 4-hour, which was also bearish, which is where my entry was, right? Because I expected, since the daily order block to hold, any price trading back into this range of the daily order block against so on the lower time frames, like the 4-hour, would be incredibly bearish, right? And yeah, it was the chart told me that. I took the trade, and that was it. I didn't need any news. I didn't need any blood moons or whatever you call it, right? So I thought it was going to bounce sooner, but the fact that we are now trading below is actually a good sign, right? It's a good sign here because if we look on the daily here, this is actually a sweep, and I'm going to clear this chart completely from here. This is actually incredibly bullish now, right? Because once we do see this ERL taken, which is right there, this one, mark it here. right here. I'll redo this chart briefly. We have one right there for 25. Weekly is the same thing. So let's go lower time frames. So 8 hours still supported bearish. Didn't completely clear it. Didn't completely invalidate it. But we do have a bullish structure building already. So let's see what we can take from here, if there's anything. Yeah. Oh, nice. So here we go. We are looking like it's gonna be a reversal soon. So we want to see something like this this negative bearish range invalidated, and then a retest to 16. If we retest to 16 and then hold it, and then reclaim 17, that would be when you want to look to buy, right? Somewhere around that range. Because once we do that, the very minimum, we'd be closing back above 19. And if we close back above 19, then we're going back to the daily above 25. So right here, right? So that's the 8, the dailies similar. And then the 4 hours also similar. 3 hour has one open. I'll put those on here actually. It would be 1 here and 2 there. And then the 2 hour, honestly, that might be it. I don't know if it'll push that high, because once it gets here, it's going to start rejecting right at 2.7. So yeah, this is not too bad. And then we close here. We take this and this one on the 1 hour. And then after that, flip it, and then the retest. So here, I'll draw the whole thing out, right? The entire path here. So we have invalidate here on the 1 hour, flip it, close, flip 21, 20, close, 19 on the 1 hour, flip 19 from previous range, close against 27, and then we flip 20 after that, right? That would be the range here. So for WLFI, if you want to trade it, again, the only thing to validate against would be the break of 18 cents. We're in 18 cents right now. You want to see that range broken, possibly by the end of the week. If we break that range at the end of the week, close back above 18, that's your alert. So I think I would probably take this only if those things happened, because we are very close, but we have not actually done that quite yet. So I'll put alert right here, flip it to yellow, and then say on the, I'm going to say on the 30 minute, that's a 30 minute right there, yep. I'll do bar close less, and then that's the long watch, right? So I'm going to just make a little box here. I'll put it like a little bit cleaner, right? We want to see that happen, and then the break back above 18, the break back above 18, then we just do TPs against this range from previous bearish gaps, right? That's going to effectively invalidate afterwards. It'll basically invalidate that range, retest previous range balance or read range highs, so that's somewhere over here, right? And then after that, if it closes above 19, it's going to shoot straight up to 28. And then after that, it'll retest again down to 20. So, because that's previous range low there. And then from there, I don't know, could go to all-time high after that. So yeah, it looks like we're almost there. We're getting there. A little bit of consolidation here. So I'll keep this one on watch for you guys. I know I caught the short. Now let's see if we can catch the long. What do you think? I put the level in for alerting, and then we'll just stay patient and wait for the level, and then watch reaction go from there. Hopefully that helps. Cool. So let's do another request here. Spec hit both of my all three. Let's see, where is it? I think literally while I was talking, I didn't even realize this. While I was talking, my limits filled. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I want to see the closure now above 42, 43. You can see I did have this. Sorry. Cool. Sorry about that. I'm just getting phone calls at the same time right now. So let's see. 4-8. Where else we got? Yes. So we got an open right here. If we hold this SMR, then this is going to be all-time low. Period. End of sentence. All-time low is almost confirmed. So I'm in on this. I literally have all my limits filled. My average is like, where is it? 4-3. I'm like a teeny tiny bit in the red right now. But, you know, effectively, I'd expect this to happen. Close here. Anywhere we close above 4-3 after this point, we're going to confirm this all-time low. And then there's literally such smooth liquidity down here. Such smooth liquidity. I am not TPing this at all, until we clear the entire range on the daily. So this is $1 to 280. So I'm in this from $1. I'm in this right now. You can honestly take it by market if you want, and hold this all the way up to like 1 to 280. This range is pretty clear. So it'll be a banger. That's spec right there. I think it just literally filled like literally all of my orders while I was talking to you guys. Cool. So what else we got? Mav, and then I think I need a run in a little bit here. Let's do Mav here. Ooh, I love charts like this. Look at that. Nice little hook there. Wow. Oh, Hari requested Mav. Oh, Hari. You know your stuff. I know you know your stuff. This one's good. This one's good. Rock solid here. Oh yeah, literally so much IRL to clear, right? And then we have from, what is it, the daily low? Let's see, what do we have open here? 1, 2. This is like range low here, and then SMR down here, right? Higher low already. Anchoring from here, we have like roughly 48 still. So like the same thing could happen here, where if we clear this range, I'd want to see a reconsolidation and then continuation from there. So if you're doing limits, I'd say like, you know, break under 5.7. I'll do an alert here on the hourly. This is actually not too bad. 5.7 and then take it from after that. Less than. Unless we pump first. I mean, that's honestly totally viable too. We could pump to 10 first. Yeah, because I was saying, right, we could just do this weekly, right? This weekly right now is, or no, it's the monthly. Yeah, it's the monthly that's open right here at 8. So if we close this month right where we are now, we could just still, we don't even need to retrace. So basically, it's if we close here on the monthly, we would do this instead, right? So we do the extension first. That would be valid actually. This would be very valid as well. So measuring out from here, that would actually still be valid. So I'll put my alert under 6 from there, and I'd want to see the break of 10, retrace to 5, and then we take it from there, right? This would be a perfect one to go from there. Cool. And I think that is, I'll do one more request. GME, I've never, this is GameStop coin. Okay, I've never seen this one before. It's kind of hilarious. I don't think I've traded this one either, but it does look quite nice, actually. It does look quite nice. I do like a chart like this. It does not have any openings on the monthly. Nothing on the weekly either. Oh, there's one thing here on the weekly. One. And then the close from here would be the clear, right? So we do have those set, and I think the weekly still is the same way. Yeah, the weekly is the same way. So this would actually be nice. This is actually pretty nice. I'll say this much. It is pretty nice because when it comes to coins like this, you're going to see heavy wicks. So if you can risk manage against that, then you're going to be fine. And this chart does show one weekly open at 1 cent. So honestly, what I would expect to happen is something like where it goes down a little bit and then just goes like this, wick straight up, and then basically closes right below, right? Something like that on the daily. It's going to be like a very fast, heavy wick to the upside and then a rejection, right? Because that's kind of what's been happening structurally with the rest of this coin. So just be, have your TP set up as limits, right? Because it's going to be fast when that happens, right? So that'll be what you want to look for. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you all for joining. I will post this recording on my YouTube, and I will send it to all you guys. And have a good rest of your week. Stay green, and I'll catch you all later. Remember, my DMs are always open if you have any questions. Catch you all later.